Good morning. We are Group 50 and we are presenting on the positive or alternative disciplines in Ghanaian school. At the end of this presentation, we expect students to understand the concept of positive or alternative discipline. 2. To explore the importance and benefit of positive discipline strategies. 3. To identify the tools recommended by the Ghana Education Service. 4. To analyze real-life application of positive discipline through case study. One may ask, what is positive or alternative discipline? Positive or alternative discipline is a respectful and non-violent way to guide and correct children's behavior. If a child makes mistakes, you can correct the child without being harsh or being rude. It focuses on teaching, understanding, and helping children to develop self-discipline. Unlike punishment, it builds trust, encourages responsibilities, and avoid fears.
Let's look at the importance of positive discipline. So it promotes respect and teaches responsibilities. So when you are being corrected in a nice way, you will learn to respect others and you will learn to correct others in a nice way as a child growing up. I remember those days when I was a child, I was hyperactive, not stubborn actually. So there are times that I behave in some ways that I sometimes I think it's right, which meanwhile they are not right. So there was this teacher who always talks to me. He calls me the son. So he always talks to me, then advise me on things to do. So at first I realized no, this woman is just worrying me. But as time goes on, I realized that no, this woman is trying rather to help me. So I accepted it, and now I'm as calm as the lagoon. So another importance is it promotes teacher and student relationship. Using myself as an example again, with that teacher, as from JHS2 to date, we still have contact. We've been as good as friends. And then if there are teachers that always they enjoy lashing or corporal punishment, and up to date, I have some marks on my body, and those teachers, when I see them, I feel like I just want to just piece their necks, but it's not the best. But for the fact that the first teacher was able to correct me in a nice way, the relationship is there. And that will also help in class. When you are teaching, the student will be able to assimilate most of what you teach, unlike the fear that your presence alone puts in the child. Positive discipline teaches and guides students to learn, unlike the corporal punishment and the others, which forces students to accept corrections. So with that case, the students sometimes don't realize their mistakes. They tend to just follow what they said is right, do this, not knowing what exactly they did wrong. Positive discipline also encourages students to learn through mutual respect. Imagine doing something wrong which you know is perfectly wrong, and then your father or your teacher calls you, speaks to you in a nice way to accept what you've done genuinely, unlike lashing you. Yes, you've done this, so you take 12 lashes of cane. Instead of that will put some fear in you. But talking to you nicely, meanwhile you know, oh, normally what I've done, I deserve some cane. But the teacher called you and then spoke to you in a nice way, then you accepted your mistakes. You feel safe, and then you always feel at home with that teacher. Now let's look at some of the examples of positive disciplines. So a teacher talking nicely to students, this is not always in the schools, can be practiced in the homes as well. And then alternative sequence, as in when you create a mess, you clear after it, applauding students when they do good, and then commanding them when they do bad. So these are sequences, or these are things that will help change some behaviors from bad to good. Gone are those days that mental is being used as greetings to every class. You realize that for the first period of the class, students become very timid. They are scared of the answer to give. Why? Because it's associated with caning, which lowers their spirit. But imagine I come to class, I give questions, you answer rightly or wrongly, and then I correct you in a right way, or I advise you on something to do. You feel always accepted in the class, and that will give you the energy and the enthusiasm to always participate in class. We believe that no human being is born a tabula rasa, so every student has something in him or her. So him bringing it out, that's the only way a teacher or an educator can modify or correct that. So positive discipline helps students to improve their academic life.
So I'll continue from where my colleague stopped. So according to GES, tools for positive discipline are categorized into 4 levels. We have the proactive measures, we have the early detection or intervention measures, we have the corrective measures, and we have the rehabilitative measures. So with the proactive measures, we have school-wide rubric. Example, the rules in the school, the entire school, such as coming to school early and then learning to be positive, like respecting others' decisions and also respecting others irrespective of their background. Okay, and then secondly, we have classroom-wide classroom rubric. For example, learning to avoid plagiarism and then not eating in class. We have notice board poster, and that is posting positive messages and informations on notice board for students to know their do's and don'ts, or also for them to be reminded of their action. We also have encouragement, where you would recognize and encourage students by awarding them yearly for their performance or their extensive performances. Yeah. So we move on to level 2. That is the early detection or intervention measure. So with the level 2, the aim of the early detection or intervention measure is to identify and address potential problems before they escalate into more bigger ones. Okay. So we have examples such as explanation, we have caution, we have agreement, and then we have interview. So all these help the students having conversation with the teacher or the lecturer, so that the student is more open, okay, and you'll be able to identify the problems or situations the student is going through in order to solve them before it becomes a bigger problem. I'll hand over to my next colleague.
And we have corrective measures. And corrective measures addresses misbehavior and teaches students responsibility and accountability. And these are the example measures that reflection period. The student is given a short time. The student is given a short time away from classroom activity to calm down and think about their behavior, and this helps the student this gives the student the opportunity to reflect on their behavior and consider better choices. And one of the examples is writing lines. The student repeatedly writes a specific sentence related to the expected behavior. Example, maybe I will not eat in class again, or I will not talk when the lecturer or the teacher is speaking. This helps reinforce positive behavior through repetition and reflection. And then the last point is counseling. The student is referred to a counselor or the teacher to hold a deeper conversation, to explore emotional, or student is referred to a school counselor or teacher to hold a deeper conversation, to explore emotional or personal issues contributing to the behavior. And this helps provide emotional support, guidance, and a long-term behavior improvement.
Last level, and that's the rehabilitative measures. So when we talk about the rehabilitative measures, it helps students who have exhibited persistent or serious misbehavior to reflect, learn, and make positive change. So example, withdrawing of a responsibility, and that is temporarily removing a privilege or responsibility to help the students reflect on their behavior. So 2, letters to parents. So involving parents about their children's behavior and working towards them to find a solution. So letters to parents. Involving parents about their children's behavior and working towards to find a solution. So teacher will help when student is misbehaving in school. Teachers should allow parents to come in so that they will talk to their children, so that everything will be like perfect or something. So number 3, counseling. Providing one-on-one or group counseling to help students address underlying issues or develop coping strategies. And 5, daily reports. Providing regular feedback to students and parents about their behavior, process and area of improvement.
So all these tools from level 1 to 4 offer reinforcements to students on bad behaviors in a good way, leaving out the torture, the emotional stress, the timidness in them. So it will make the students an open students, making room for improved individuals in the near future. Now let's take a case study. In our case study, there is a teacher who teaches primary 6, and she realized that her students always disrupt the class most at times. So instead of caning them, she introduced something else, which is what? Behavior chart. So what happened is that she monitored the chart every week to see the students that are doing well and those that are lagging behind. So what she does is those that are lagging behind, she helps them, and then by the end of the term, she realized that all the students are doing very well, which is a positive discipline tool that she used to attain that goal.
In conclusion, I hope this presentation has made you understand what positive discipline is, the importance and the GES recommendation of the 4 level of tools, and importance of positive discipline, and also the 4 tools recommendation from GES. Positive discipline fosters respectful, supportive learning environment. It also helps students to develop social and emotional skills. GES alternative also what protects children and also improve education outcome. Also, educators, parents and communities must collaborate to fully implement these strategies. Thank you so much. I'm by the name Nimatu Sakibu, and my colleague.
My name is Sylvia.
I'm Sasa Felicia.
I'm Aidorana Kwabiao.
I'm Ejaidin Alandi.
And I'm Prince Noble Ahiale, the man of the ladies. Thank you.